Well, hello everybody, BugEater64 here, and today we're going to be doing just a normal routine flight from Portland International, Portland, Oregon, to Dallas Fort Worth in Texas. And we're going to be flying the PMDG DC6B. So we're going to be carrying passengers. It will be an FS Airlines flight, and we're going to start at about 5:30 in the morning out of Portland, and then we'll be heading east. So let's get inside the cockpit and let's get things started. Enjoy the flight. See you on the flip side. Okay, here we are at Portland International. Now it says 7:06 a.m., but that's not correct. A little too dark in Portland to be at 7 in the morning. So when I looked at the aircraft, and it was actually said more like about 5:30, 5:40 in the morning. So anyway, we'll get things going here. Portland's a busy airport, and there's another aircraft out beside us, not far away. I think it's got its engines running. And off in the distance, you can see one of the jets coming in. Actually, a couple of them. And see that jet's moving up, get ready to take off. Okay, so inside the cockpit, let's go ahead and see about getting things going here. DC6 is an old aircraft, radial engines, and it takes a few minutes to get her going. So let's get things started here. Before start, checklist. And our Garmin 430. So we'll start getting it aligned. Okay, so navigation system is aligning, picking up our satellites. Okay, so we are ready to start engines. Go ahead and yep, we're taking off, runway 28 left. Okay. Check. Okay. Conditioner set to full. Alright. Magnetos to both. Engine 3 set to start. Here we go. Blade rotations. Let's get it going. And it looks like we got a good start on engine 3. Alright, so conditioner up to full for engine 4. Magnetos set to both. Start selector to 4. Fuel pump to low. 3 off. Everything looks ready. Okay. Engine 4 up and running. So next, engine 2.
Clear prop.
That call out should actually be made with engine 3. Why they do it with 2 and not, doesn't make sense to me. Okay, it's rotating. And engine 2 starting up. Okay, that looks good. Finally, engine number 1. Let's get her up and going so we can go fly 1,400 miles to Dallas Fort Worth. On selector, fuel pump to low, and start. Alright, so all 4 engines are up and running. Let them warm up a little bit here.
Start selecting bus pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Flame venting. Generators and inverters. Change and plug. Emergency light. Off. Ground power. Removed. Off to start chase complete.
Okay. Okay, so looks like the engine's warming up nicely. check some of our lights. Okay. Okay, oil pressures are looking good. Fuel pressure's good. And let's start to taxi to the end of the runway, which is just behind us. Outside lights on so we can see where we're going. Okay, so flaps going down to 20, which is our takeoff configuration.
Flaps set to 20. Windows and turbine.
And let's get the FS Airlines client up and running.
Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. 3.
Alright, so we move that out of the way. So our flight is officially started.
Mixture and fuel flaps. Engine locked. Set. Transponder. On. Landing lights. Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
All right. Get ready to move here in a minute while we wait for an aircraft to land. Okay, well, these engines will be good and warm when we get ready to get on the runway. So the total flight is going to be about 6.5 hours. 1,400 miles. We'll be flying at about 200 plus. I think I'm looking at airspeed probably around 270. We'll see how that goes. Alright, let's start to move out this way. Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator doing its thing. Okay. This is the final jet we've got to think about coming into land before we take off. Okay, so with that, we can move out onto the runway. Runway 28 left.
Stabilized. Tail flaps. Tail flaps. Tail flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power. Full power set.
Okay, looking good. And brakes released. once we get to about 1,000 feet, we'll pull the flaps up. Flaps are up. And let's set conditioners to flight position. Alrighty. Beautiful morning in Portland. As we get ready to head west. So flaps up, gear up, plane is ready to go. Let's get there. 1,400 miles to go. And here we are on approach into Dallas Fort Worth. Been a very uneventful flight. And I have the aircraft.
Cooling turbine. Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, cross feed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On. In-range checks complete.
Okay. Descending into the Dallas Fort Worth area. Okay, not sure what's going on with my engines. Huh. Haven't had this problem before.
Flaps 20. Setting flaps 20.
Ooh, engines are doing some weird stuff here. I don't know why. Okay. Landing gear's coming down though. Gear down and locked. Oh, look at those engine gauge. What's going on?
20 flaps set. Masters ridge, please. Alter ridge. Mixture set. Gear up and down, please. Gear up and down. Gear down and locked. 3 things. Props. 2400 RPM. 2400 RPM set. Tail flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Tail flaps set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights.
Okay. We are ready to land. Whoa.
Lights extended and on. Carbine. Carbine's cold. Set cold. Before landing checks complete.
Seems like every time I touch the throttle, it does some weird stuff. Now before my flight I had a Windows update, I had an update from the sim, and I also had an update for this aircraft from PMDG, and I'm not sure how that affected maybe my control settings, but something weird is going on. Look at those gauges. My goodness. Let's hope I can get her on the ground. Well, I can get her on the ground. We just like to do it safely. Yeah, the engines are revving, they're dying, they're revving, they're dying. Not sure what's causing that. Let's try to get to the runway here. I'm afraid this landing is not going to be pretty, but we'll give it a try to keep it within reason. Look at that. Oh my god, yeah. Some weird stuff going on here. Alright, let's ease her down. Ease her down. Ooh, that was a pretty hard hit. That's a bounce and a half. Oh my goodness. It's gonna try and use the reversers, but the engines have died. it looks like. Yeah, they've shut down. My goodness. Well, that wasn't pretty. Well, there you have it. Interesting. Did a little research. In other words, I checking my settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and my HOTAS setup was a little bit different than I remembered it, and that's one of the problems when you fly so many different aircraft and you don't really pay attention to your HOTAS settings. The problems I was having and why the engines quit. I'm lucky I got the aircraft on the ground in one piece. I really am. Because on my Warthog, the throttle configuration, I've got one of the throttle levers set up for the engines. Since there's 4 engines, I just set up one to work all 4. And the other is set up with the mixture control. Well, I kind of forgot that. So what was happening was, as I was getting ready to come in and land and I was playing with the throttles, I was actually also playing with the mixture control because I was moving both levers at the same time. And that's why you kind of heard some odd engine sound going on. And then once I touched down, naturally I pulled the throttles all the way back to and went to engage the reverse system of those engines. Unfortunately, at that point, I had shut the engines down without knowing it. So, hey, checklist, checklist, checklist. When it comes to setting up, make sure you check your control settings in the simulator and double check what's going on, because I sure didn't. But anyway, we completed the flight. We got down on the ground safely. It wasn't my best landing by any means, especially in the DC6, because I usually do much better with this aircraft, because she's one of my favorites, and I really take the time with her. But that being said, every time I was trying to adjust throttle control, I was adjusting mixture, and the aircraft did some weird things, and you could see that. The engines were shutting down as I pulled back, and that's why I hit the ground so hard, at just under minus 300 feet a minute. But we got credit for the flight. Didn't damage the aircraft. It was just a hard landing. So I hope you enjoyed it, because I had a lot of fun bringing it to you, and I learned something. Check my equipment before I go. So until next time, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, remember, safe